Hey, good morning everybody. How you guys doing today?
Good.
Great. Well, I'm the Huddle facilitator for this week, and Lee here, he's going to be our scribe. So why don't we start by taking our roll call, and as I look around, I see that each of our groups are definitely represented today. So Lee, can you go ahead and mark us all as present?
You betcha. So I'm just going to go ahead to this roll call section and check off that each of the roles that we expected to be here are here.
All right, thanks. And Chris, according to my notes, you're the Service Excellence Coordinator this week. Would you like to review this week's topic and share the quote of the day?
Sure. The topic of the week is emergency preparedness. And the quote of the day is, "If you're not prepared, it's not pressure you feel, it's fear." Said by Bruce Bochy, manager of the San Francisco Giants.
All right. Does anyone have anything to share that relates to today's quote, or anybody they'd like to recognize?
Well, I'd like to recognize Mary. She came in early on Monday to finish some work that wasn't completed on Friday, just to make sure that we weren't behind this week.
You know what, Sam? Thanks for sharing this information. Lee, can you go ahead and write this in the announcements, recognition, and celebration section? Alright, great. So let's move on and ask our daily safety question. Did any problems occur or almost occur, could occurred, that resulted in significant patient, family, or staff injury or dissatisfaction?
Well, this morning, Chris and I were putting the UPS delivery away in the supply room, and a box of syringes literally fell off the shelf and almost hit her right on the head. Luckily, it missed.
Oh my gosh, guys, that is terrible. Well, I'm glad that missed. Why don't we go ahead and write that down on a Post-it note, and we're going to place that here in our safety section. And then while you're doing that, I'm going to take this red card, the card here, and switch it over to red.
All right, I'll go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to write "box fell" on this Post-it note and go ahead and place it right there in our safety section.
All right, thanks, Lee. All right, guys, let's take a look at the measures. I went ahead and updated these this morning. So it looks like we're green on 3. So safety, financial stewardship, and then also engagement is in the green. And it's probably important for us to talk about, or at least to note, that this is the first time our safety measure has ever been green. And I really think that's really awesome. However, guys, we are still red on 2. So both quality and delivery are both still in the red. So why don't we take a closer look at those 2 measures, quality and delivery, and talk a little bit about those. Has anyone noticed anything, any problems or barriers that might be causing those to be a little bit low? Well, in relation to the problems, I do know that yesterday we did have 10 add-ons, and while that's not unusual for a Monday, they really did slow us down. Pat, thanks so much for sharing that. We need to go ahead and add that too and update the frequency count, Lee.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead here to our frequency count document, and since this is the first time this has come up during a huddle, I'm just going to go ahead and put add-ons and place a check mark to show that, again, that was the first time this came up at the huddle. And then I'm also going to complete a Post-it note here, add-ons, and place that in our delivery section here, just to show that that was an issue that came up and it can enter into our problem-solving system.
All right, thanks so much, Lee. All right, guys, so I think we did a good job talking about some issues related to delivery over the last day or so. What about some other issues, maybe issues related to our quality measure?
Yeah, well, I was the one that went through all the patient satisfaction cards, and a lot of patients mentioned that they never were told they could leave, so they spent time waiting in the exam room after their appointment was complete.
All right, why don't we have Lee update the frequency count for that one as well.
Lee, no need to fill out a Post-it note on this one. We have an Eli just Eli just implemented regarding the use of our call lights that should positively impact this problem.
All right, thanks, Chris. I won't fill out a post-it for that one then, but I will document the frequency count. It looks like we already have a problem category listed here under quality that they weren't told they could leave. So this actually came up in 2 previous huddles. So I'm just going to mark that it now came up for the 3rd time in a huddle.
All right, thanks, Lee. So there's a lot of great discussion, guys. So based on the problems that we've been talking about, are there any immediate actions that any of us should be taking?
All right, I'll tell you what, guys. I'll tell you what. I'll be sure to I'll make sure the clinic leader plans to follow up and provide service recovery with the unhappy patients. I really feel it's important that we do this soon.
Terry, I think that's great, and it's perfect, I think, for you to be able to be the one that kind of tracks that down. Lee, can you go ahead and make an update on that?
All right, yeah, I'll go ahead and record that then. I'm just going to record that right in the immediate action sections for quality. So I'm just going to say service recovery and make sure that we assign that to our clinic leadership so that doesn't fall through the cracks.
All right, thanks, Lee. You're doing one heck of a job being our scribe. All right, so guys, that takes care of our discussion about our problems. So now what we need to do is let's move on and take a look at the status of our everyday lean ideas. So as we look at this, it looks like Pat, thanks a lot, buddy, that it looks like you did turn in a new one that the clinic manager is going to review with you as a part of the leadership walk. But we can't really just stop there because we do have some additional ones that are in progress. So it looks like we have an idea that's currently in the do it section. Terry, can you maybe give us an update on this one?
Yeah, that's ours. We received approval to change around the physician work schedules, so we're actually moving ahead and piloting starting tomorrow.
All right, great. So let's take this then from the do it column, and since we're starting a pilot tomorrow, let's move it over to the doing it column. And we can all just make sure that we let our respective teams know that so that we're prepared for that when it does begin tomorrow. And then we actually also had something over here in the doing it column regarding the residents coming up with their own triggers for hand washing. Can someone tell us a little bit about that one? Yeah, Alex, that's us. You know what? I mean, for all my complaining earlier, I'll tell you what, we are really proud of the residents around these triggers. They started using that system for hand washing last week, and you can actually already see the impact that it's had on our safety metric. And as previously mentioned at the start of the huddle, this is the first time it's ever been green, and it's directly due to this effort. So I'm going to go ahead and take this one then. I'm going to move it to the done section since we've completed our cycle of learning on that. And then Lee, can you go ahead and update the recognition section for us?
Absolutely. So I'm just going to go ahead and write residents rock to show how proud we are of the residents.
All right, thanks Lee. All right guys, let's move on and take a look at the daily communication for today. So it looks like Kelly is going to be off today, so we all need to make sure we're aware of that. Rooms C and F are going to be open because they're doing a little bit of remodeling in there. And Julie is the lab tech who's been assigned to cover the lab for us. Is there any other primary communication that we need to share?
No, I think that's it for today. I'll make sure to pass this along to those that are unable to attend today's huddle.
All right, that's perfect. All right, let's keep moving on. Any additional announcements, recognition, or celebration that needs to be recognized?
So Betty finished her master's degree, and there's cake for her in the conference room.
Yeah, there's also construction on US 23, so this could definitely cause delays for patients.
Thanks, Terry.
Let me guess, Lee, can you document? All right, just kidding, I'm on it, guys. So I'm going to go ahead over here to our announcements section. I'm going to write that there's cake for Betty in the conference room. And I'm also going to write here that there's barrels. There's barrels on 23.
Hey Lee, we should write that in permanent marker.
Good call.
All right, thanks Lee. So you know what, thanks everybody for coming and sharing all this information at the huddle today. Is there anything else that we need to discuss? All right, well that's going to conclude today's huddle. Thank you all for coming.
All right, thanks.
Thanks.